Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejados.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sara.
And welcome to episode 240 of Adventures and Mousecapades. Today, we are excited to welcome back our friend Sara for her fourth appearance on the show. This time, Sara is fresh off an unforgettable 7-night Alaskan sailing aboard the Disney Wonder with her 2 kids. Someday we'll get on there.
Yes, yes.
From breathtaking glacier views and wildlife sightings to sometimes rainy port days, onboard activities, and the realities of cruising Alaska as a family, we are diving into what it is really like to experience one of Disney Cruise Line's most popular itineraries. Whether Alaska's on your bucket list or if you are wondering if it's worth the hype, Sara is here to share all of the details, surprises, and tips from her family's adventure. So grab your favorite cruise beverage or soft serve and come along as we head north to the last frontier. Welcome back, Sara.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Yeah, I can't believe this is your 4th time on the show.
Time does fly.
I know. One more, you'll be gold.
Wow. Does that come with a gift?
It won't count until the next one.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. On the 6th, you'll be gold. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. Disney, DCL rules.
Mm-hmm.
So remind listeners who may not have heard some of your previous episodes with us a little bit about your background and your travel history, because you've done a lot of sailing.
I have done a lot of sailing. My first time on a cruise ship was in the 4th grade, and I really got bitten by the love of cruising in college. I traveled on semester at sea, and then since then I've just not stopped cruising. So I've been on most of the major cruise lines, but Disney is sort of my favorite.
Mm.
Okay, it is my favorite.
With good reason.
By a lot.
Yeah. What made you decide Alaska was the next Disney cruise adventure for your family? Was this kind of like on your family bucket list that you needed to check off?
Yes. So I've lived my whole life in the Pacific Northwest. And before I had kids, I had the opportunity to sail to Alaska on Princess cruises, which was incredible. And I knew when I had kids, as soon as they were old enough to really appreciate it, we were going to Alaska. And I can guarantee this will not be our last time to Alaska. I'm already trying to figure out when we can go again next. It takes Pacific Northwest beauty to a whole nother level. And it's really completely unimaginable and undescribable. You just have to get there to really understand it.
Yeah. What excited your kids the most before the trip? And remind folks how old they are now.
I have 2 kids. My daughter is 7 and my son is 9. And if I'm being honest, it's the kids club. But beyond that, they were really excited for one of the excursions that we booked, taking a helicopter to a glacier and going dog sledding.
Oh, nice.
So that was the one thing that they were most excited about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
It didn't
those dogs are
disappoint.
amazing. Yes. All right, before we get there, let's talk about getting ready for the trip. So Alaska is very different than packing for Castaway Cay. How did you prepare?
We prepared for months. Santa and the Easter Bunny were in on the action. Everything from hand warmers to digital cameras, binoculars, extra thermal layers. It's a lot of stuff and a lot of layers. So new puffy coats, new fleece jackets for everybody. So I just kind of packed it away as good promotions came up on Amazon. It was a good opportunity for us to update our outdoor gear. Turns out we didn't actually need most of it, which was a happy surprise.
Yes.
But it's a lot of luggage. Like you need more luggage than when you're going to the Caribbean. The nice thing is it's a more casual sailing. So if you're somebody that likes to dress up, I like to dress up for dinner. I didn't wear most of those clothes that I took, which was, I didn't need to take them, but we drove. So I felt like I had a little bit more freedom.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Okay.
What I packed.
Yeah. Were you constantly checking the weather before you sailed?
Yes, constantly checking the weather, and everybody in the Facebook group for our sailing was constantly checking the weather. And every day we looked for the 2 weeks leading up to our sailing, it got worse and worse and
Oh
worse.
no.
And it looked like we were going to have 45 to 50-degree weather all week and solid rain.
Ugh.
So much to our surprise, it was between 65 and 70 and sunny
Oh,
every day. We
nice.
didn't experience any rain.
That's insane. And this
It was
is
insane.
mid-July. I mean, you were
Yeah.
sailed on the 13th of July
Yes.
out of Vancouver.
Mhm.
We did last year when we went on Celebrity. We were basically the week before that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was not nice. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah.
horrible, but it wasn't 70 degrees and
No.
It
sunny.
was
That's for
typical
sure.
Alaska.
Yeah.
And when I
Yeah.
sailed on Princess, it was the week after
Mhm.
in July, and we had a good mix. We had one warm day in Ketchikan, which makes sense. It's the farthest
Mm.
south.
Yeah.
But we had rain, we had fog, we had all the other things on
Yeah.
other days. So it was real. Even the Alaskans were like, this is not normal.
Mm.
This is
There's no rhyme or
hot
reason
for
to it.
us.
Yeah.
None. So you have to be prepared when you go to
Yeah.
Alaska for all different seasons.
Yeah. Well, so this was your first time sailing Disney on the Disney. Well, was this your first time on the Wonder?
It was our second time on the Wonder.
Okay, got it. But it was your first time sailing on Disney out of Vancouver.
Yes.
Where did you stay the night before?
We stayed, we did a couple of different things before we went. So we actually stayed in two places in Vancouver. We stayed at a World Mark Resort, the Canadian, one night. And then we stayed at the Pan Pacific Hotel
Mm.
the second night. So the night before we got on the cruise. And the Pan Pacific is in the same building as Canada Place,
It's on
which
top
is
of
where
it
the
all.
cruise
Yeah.
port, yeah, which is where the cruise ship docks and leaves from. So we woke up early. We watched the ship sail in under the bridge and come into port, and then we could hear the announcements on the ship from our room while we were getting ready. And they take your luggage down to the ship. There are a couple different options that Disney partners with staying in Vancouver, but the service and the views in the Pan Pacific make it
Yeah.
the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It
that's where
makes
we
it a
stayed
lot
as well.
easier.
It was
Yeah.
pretty darn fantastic.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
How does Vancouver compare to Port Canaveral or other Disney ports that you've used?
That's a really good question. You have to plan a little bit more for Vancouver. It's a big
Mm.
city. The port is right downtown in the big city, and whether you're driving or flying, there's just a little bit more planning involved. Disney does do a transportation shuttle, a bus from the airport to the cruise port the morning of. If you're staying by the airport, they have a sky train that you can take in. But I
Mm.
think that's the big difference is you are in a major city. It's also very cool. I think people are missing out if they don't spend a couple of nights in Vancouver because there's so
Mm.
much to do
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right down there at the cruise port area. You can hop on the hop on, hop off bus. You can walk to Stanley Park. You can go up to the suspension bridge that they have there. There's just a lot to do in Vancouver. It's a really cool city to explore.
And especially if you're staying right at the Pan Pacific or
Mhm.
even someplace just
Close, yeah.
downtown, you don't have like that hour plus bus ride to get from wherever you're staying, like at the parks in one of the
Yeah.
resorts, or even if you're sailing out of like Galveston,
Yeah.
that's an hour to an hour and a half bus ride if you've got the Disney hotel that's there at the airport
Yeah.
in Houston. So yeah, it's incredibly convenient. So
Mhm. Walking to the terminal, you just can't beat it.
yeah.
How's parking? Because you said you drove up there, so I'm assuming you had to pay for parking up there.
Parking is not for the faint of heart. It
Mm.
has tripled in price in the
Oh my
last few
goodness.
years. It was
Okay.
about 700 Canadian
Mhm.
dollars to park
Wow.
for 8
Wow.
nights at the Pan Pacific. Yeah, it wasn't cheap, but I will say parking was easy. We were right by the front door, and their parking garage, one elevator takes you to the Pan Pacific and the other takes you to the cruise port. So we were steps from our car when we got off the ship, and
Mhm.
we were on our way back to the
Nice.
United States
Nice.
pretty quickly.
So
Yeah.
750 Canadian, that's like $100. No, I'm kidding.
Basically, right?
Yeah, no, it's not that good.
Not quite. It was about 500
Yeah.
550, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we were surprised by how expensive the parking was sailing out of Seattle, because when we went last year, it's just a gravel lot. You still have to take
Yeah.
a shuttle bus over. It's not like you're in the same building anywhere near that. And I think it was like $425 for a week. And it was,
That makes me feel better.
yeah. And that's US dollars.
Right.
All right. So revisiting the Wonder, you guys, basically step out of your hotel room right into the main lobby there, if you will. What was it like? First impressions getting back on the ship?
We love the Wonder. I love the small ships.
Mhm.
She's my third favorite ship, if you're keeping track. And there's just something so relaxing. She feels like a small ship. There was staff that we recognized. There was staff that recognized my children
Oh, wow.
from the
nice.
dining room. And that
Oh.
just makes you feel
Mhm.
so special. And I think that's the Disney magic, is you develop a bond with some of these cast members that you
Mhm.
see from ship to ship. And it was great because it was just like coming home.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
we also the thing I like about sailing ships we've already sailed is we don't have that FOMO to try and cram everything in. We can
Mm.
really soak it in and take time to do different things
Yeah.
because we've already kind of done some of the basics.
Yeah.
Let's go into Glacier Day, actually. Let's dive right into the itinerary here.
Okay.
So depending on the conditions, Disney visits the Dawes Glacier in the Endicott Arm or the Sawyer Glacier in the Tracy Arm Fjord. Where did you guys end up?
We ended up in Endicott Arm and
Okay.
Dawes Glacier.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
What was your family's reaction when you all first saw the glacier?
Well, it's kind of at the end of the day. You don't get to the glacier until about 2 o'clock. And
Okay.
so as you're sailing up the arm and the fjords, you can see other glaciers
Mhm.
up in the mountains. But when we actually got to the glacier, it was part of it was my kids were kind of done because we had done a lot of character meet and greets that day.
Yeah. Oh,
But they're just
yeah.
like, wow, it is incredible. And I think the thing that did it, even for me, I've been to Glacier Bay, which is, the kind of the end all be all if
Yeah.
you're keeping track of glaciers, but it didn't seem any less spectacular to me.
Mm.
And
Mm.
the excursions that get on the little boats that get really close to the glaciers, you can see those, and it really puts into perspective how enormous the
Yeah.
glaciers are and the icebergs that are floating
Yeah. Yeah.
in the water. And just it was spectacular, and it was warm. Like, it wasn't freezing to be outside. It was like we just kind of just sat there. We ate room service, tomato soup, and grilled cheese, and it was kind of a perfect time.
That sounds amazing. I think ours was like, we were there in the early morning slot,
Mm-hmm.
and it was drizzly and cold. And so we weren't really interested in being out on the open decks for too
Yeah.
long because we just got so cold. Man, now we have to go again for sure.
Well,
'Cause,
Yeah.
of course, as long as we can guarantee good weather.
Good
So,
weather. Well, I'll give you a little pro tip.
Yeah.
We signed up for the Shutters family photo session,
Mhm.
Okay.
and we had scheduled it in the morning. And when we got on the ship, the photographer was like, "You want to do it in the afternoon when we're at the glacier."
Ah.
Because you don't know before you get on exactly when you're going to get to the glacier.
Right.
Right now, they're doing them in the afternoon, but that's not always true. So
Mhm.
we were able to move. So we did family photos. Be surprised when you get the Christmas card at the glaciers, which was absolutely
Oh,
incredible.
nice.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
That's a heck of a pro tip right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is money well spent, I will tell you.
Yeah.
How are they with the icebergs leading up to it? Because I remember when we did it, it was kind of cool to see these icebergs coming out, these little ones, and then they get bigger, and then they get bigger. I remember Sterling had quite the reaction to those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they love those. So we started to see those while we were in line up on deck meeting characters.
Mhm.
And my kids both had binoculars. And so I was like, look, they're icebergs. They're like, no, those are not icebergs. And they're trying to make up what they are. I was like, nope, those are icebergs. Look through your binoculars. And it was mesmerizing because they're such an electric shade of blue
Yes, they
and they
are.
really
Yeah.
stick out on the horizon. They thought they were really cool. And so then we were talking about, how they come down on the tides from the glacier and how the glaciers calve and they come down. And then there was a naturalist on board and we didn't ever see her, but she was doing some announcements at different times over the
Mhm.
loudspeakers and
Nice.
talking about the depths of the fjord and sort of, how those icebergs come to be and how long it takes them to get out to sea. And it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys get to hear any or see any calving?
We saw just a tiny little bit. There
Okay.
was one of the glacier boats just right up there. Gosh, it would have been amazing to see, but we saw just a little bit. There wasn't
Okay.
as much as I saw at Glacier Bay,
Okay.
but we did see a little bit.
Yeah. Where on board did you find the best viewing spots? Because if there's a lot of characters going up on deck, there's, maybe a lot of spots that you would really want to be to look at the glacier and everything else that may be taken up with lines. How did that work out?
Yeah, conveniently, we were in the lines. So it's a bummer to be in the lines.
Yeah.
Amazing to see the characters and their incredible costumes. The photos are incredible with the backdrop going up the fjord. But those are prime spots to be watching for whales. We saw whales,
Oh,
otters,
nice.
seals, icebergs while we were waiting in line for those characters. Once we got up to the glacier, we actually went back to our cabin and just enjoyed it from our veranda where it was
Mm,
quiet. The
Yeah.
kids could like take their shoes off and kind of relax. And that I really recommend that if you have a veranda, because everybody that was up on deck, were cramming to be up in all the good spots, but
Yeah.
they stop. We were there for about 2 hours.
Hmm.
They stop and they have one side of the ship turn to face the glacier, and then they really slowly turn around and then they stop and they let the other side enjoy the glacier. So you're not going to miss anything going back to
Right.
your cabin.
Right.
And you can do it kind of in the privacy of your own veranda
Yeah.
with room service.
Plus, if you are, like in the morning, if the glacier's in, later in the day, it's almost like Disney has figured out a way to make those character lines a feature.
Right,
Because, you want to be outside,
right,
assuming there's great weather.
right,
You want to be out
right.
there and having those best views. So
Yeah,
that's
it
actually
was
kind of
I
cool.
can't complain because we had great weather. It would be nice if they operated it a little bit more like the Royal Gathering, maybe where you waited in one.
Mm,
I wouldn't mind waiting 2 hours to meet maybe 3 characters at once.
yeah.
Just so you're not in lines all day. But we got to see all the characters we
you
wanted to
did?
see.
Okay. Who did you
They
see?
We saw Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, and Chip and Dale.
Oh my gosh, you
Whoa.
saw like all of
We
them.
did see them all. We were not going to see Chip and Dale, but the line by then was super short because we are not the faint of heart,
Mm.
and it was just a 15-minute line, which seemed very short compared to the others we had been in. They are very efficient with the characters, 2 photos per group,
Hmm.
no autographs, so they do keep the lines moving, but everybody wants the photos. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How long were the long lines? I'm assuming for, Mickey and Minnie.
so Mickey came out at 8:30. We went out to deck at 7:45 to find a giant line
Hmm.
Oh,
that was about 45 minutes once he came out. And
Oh
from
my
there
goodness.
we spent a total of 6 hours in line and we just
Oh,
went back and forth. We were with other families and literally everybody was doing this. So I didn't feel bad doing it,
yeah.
but you'd have people waiting in different lines and then
yeah.
you'd let a few people go in front of you so that, you could get photos and swap back and forth.
Right.
But that was the only way to
Yeah.
do it. And
Yeah.
not everybody has that, extra adult
Right.
to be able to do that. But it
Right.
was worth it. The kids were excited
Yeah.
and we have some great photos, but it was a day.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
I get your point now. Like if they did it like the Royal Gathering where, it's not a pay for, but you get
Mhm.
timed, tickets and all the rest of that stuff and they manage, one big line and then you go
Right.
through and get all the characters. That would
Right.
be way more efficient for
Even
everybody's
if it
time.
wasn't a reservation, even if you just went up and waited in a 2-hour line, that's
Right.
still less time. I mean, we spent 6
Sure.
hours in line. It's still
Yeah.
less time
Wow.
than
If you just go through and do, yeah,
right.
because
Yeah. But it was great. They had they also do Frozen on Glacier Day on
okay.
Uh-huh.
Alaska cruises. And that deck party, it's basically a sing-along similar to the one that you can do at Hollywood Studios.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And they either do it at 11 a.m. or they do it at like 7:45,
Yeah.
7:30
Yeah.
between the dinner seatings.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know how they choose which it's going to be. The week before us, it was between dinner. Ours was during 11 at
Huh.
11. But we were already on deck, so we could watch it and while waiting in line, which was very convenient.
Yeah.
I will say it's a little bit of a bummer if you want to dress up for Frozen, because
Yeah.
if you're in a outfit that you want for the Glacier Day photos,
Mm.
then Frozen's in the middle. So
Yeah.
my
Right.
daughter didn't get to wear her Frozen costume to the show, but she did wear it to dinner where they have a Frozen menu. So it all worked out.
So
That
what
works.
was the Glacier Day outfit?
We all wore red buffalo plaid.
Oh,
And my son
nice.
had a navy blue vest to
Oh, like
match
Donald.
Donald. And my daughter had a dress, so she sort of matched Daisy. It was very fun. And
Very
also warm and
nice.
functional because you could layer underneath it.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent.
That is fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you think that was the most memorable day of the cruise?
You know, I can't pick a most memorable day of
Fair
that.
enough.
I mean, they were all of our days were so good. It definitely ranks up there at the top.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it was just a great day. I mean, it's so beautiful. Every
Yeah.
time you look out to sea, it's so beautiful. And every 5 minutes, the scenery is completely different. It's just absolutely amazing.
So it's in the top 7 of your
For sure in the top
week-long
7.
cruise.
Yes. Probably in the top 3.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm going to move on to Skagway. What excursion did you guys do in Skagway?
We did 2 excursions.
Oh, okay.
In Skagway. We really packed it in. We were in port for a long time.
Ah.
And we did 2 booked through Disney. So we knew that we would get to both of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one that we did first thing in the morning was Liarsville, which is an old town. It's the site of the town called Liarsville that was a
Mhm.
2-mile town right at the entrance to the Yukon Trail. So it was like the
Okay.
last place where
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
all the gold rushers would go to buy all their supplies that they needed that were required to get into Canada.
Yeah.
And it's definitely geared towards younger kids,
Mm.
but it was fun. So you go and they have all these tents set up and an old store and all these artifacts and things to look at. And then they do a puppet show that they have people in costume, and then they do a puppet show with singing that kind of talks about the history of the town and how people would come to be there and what they would do there. And then they would go off on their way to get rich or try to get rich. So it was good because it like leveled the history down to where the kids could really understand it. And then
Nice.
there was a scavenger hunt around the village, and the scavenger hunt led you to gold panning.
Oh, very cool.
So we went gold panning, and Chippendale showed up and helped
Oh.
gold pan.
awesome.
So it was a Disney exclusive. It was very fun, and they were, their normal selves. They were very fun to interact with.
Yes,
And
twins.
yeah, and then as we were finishing up gold panning, which is not easy, by the way,
Did you pay
Um,
off the cruise that way though?
I wish we did not. We each got 3 to 4 small flakes, but we did do it.
Nice.
Good. That's good.
Yeah. And then as we were finishing up gold panning, Donald showed up,
Oh wow.
and he was there mostly for photos.
Mhm.
And so we got photos with him. And then you head over to an all-you-can-eat salmon bake.
Ooh.
Oh,
And the
wow.
food was excellent. And for what we paid for this excursion, I feel like we got a lot. It wasn't very long,
Yeah.
but we got a lot of great experiences. It could have probably been like 15 to 20 minutes longer just so we didn't have to rush through our
Mhm.
meal.
Yeah.
But the salmon was incredible, cooked over the fire. And then we got on the bus and went back to the ship.
That's awesome. Well, what was
Yeah.
the second thing you did?
The second thing that we did was a Skagway streetcar, and trying to remember the exact name. It's like the Skagway streetcar. I'm not going to remember, but we did a Skagway streetcar. And so those are historic little yellow buses, basically. And we got a 30-minute tour of downtown.
Okay.
And then we transferred into a 25-person minivan. And we
Okay.
drove up the road into Canada. And the cool thing about doing that is you get to stop at all the vistas and take photos.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And our driver, a gal named Christine, she was absolutely incredible. She's a professional photographer, so all of our photos are really, really good.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she was just very funny and entertained us the whole way with history and details about the flowers. And there's a fault line that you can see from the road. Like you can see the fault line coming down one side of the mountain and going up the other, which is wild,
Whoa.
wild. And then when you get to the top, there's a big lake, and you see it from the train too, but there's a really big lake up there.
Mhm.
And she pointed out to us how it's separated. Part of the lake is snow melt and part of it is glacier melt, and they are different colors. And you can see
Oh,
it very clearly when you know
Huh.
what you're looking at. And so then you go up to Canada, they check everybody's passport, and then she dropped us off at the train. We had an assigned train car that we shared
Mhm.
with another minibus. So we had lots of space in the train car, and we rode the train back. And then she picked us
Nice.
up at the bottom and took us back to the ship.
Okay.
And so
That's
that
pretty fantastic.
it was an awesome tour. And it can be in reverse. So some people took the train first and then she picked them up at the top and drove them back down.
Makes sense.
The drive is faster than the train. So
Mhm.
I knew because I had done the train up and back the last time I went, and
Mhm.
it's long.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's really awesome. The first half and the second half is long. And
Yes.
so
We've seen
um
this before.
you
Yes.
see, and if the weather's rainy, it's you can't be outside. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice when the weather's nice. You can be
Yeah.
outside on the train cars, on the platforms, looking at things. But I like this because it was a little bit faster. I liked being able to get out of the minibus and take those incredible photos with the Welcome to Alaska sign,
Mhm.
and just see it from different vantage points because the
Yeah.
road and the railroad tracks are on opposite sides of the
Mhm.
valley. So it
Mhm.
was really cool, and it's going to be my go-to recommendation for
Yeah, that sounds
I
fantastic.
Skagway
like that.
tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
We
Taking notes.
yes, we did the
Mhm.
train both ways
Mhm.
Yeah.
when we were
So
there.
you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yes. And we could see we had pretty decent weather on the
Mhm.
way up,
Mhm.
and then the clouds moved in, and we saw nothing on the way back
On the way.
down.
Do
for
you
the most
remember
part.
if you did a morning train or an afternoon train?
We did morning.
Yeah.
Interesting, because usually it's the opposite, right? You can't see anything on the way up,
Mm.
but then it clears up and you can see going down.
Well, we were all pretty shocked that it was decent weather when we first got there, considering the way the rest of the week had been
Oh.
and would continue to be. I know we'll get there here in a little bit, I'm sure, but like the helicopter tours, like our friends that we were sailing with had a helicopter tour out of I don't remember where, and it was canceled because like
Canceled,
there
yeah.
was no visibility and super low ceilings and all the rest.
Depending
of
on
that
what glacier you're going to, they have like a 50% cancel rate,
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah.
which is pretty
Yeah.
high.
Well, let's move on to Juneau. What did you do in Juneau?
Juneau was helicopter day.
All right.
And because we were with a group, we wanted to make sure that we all got on the same time. So we booked it through a different travel company. We booked it through
Direct.
a direct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was great. They picked us up. We had to get to, if you're familiar with Juneau, we had to get to the tram station.
hmm
And we were docked, I think it's Dock AJ, I think is the name of it, the
Mhm.
far one. But they have double-decker buses that are constantly running. So we
Yeah.
never had to wait for a bus. It was very, very efficient. And they drop you off right there at the tram station. So that's where we went to meet our driver. And our group had ended up having a private driver out to the airport
Perfect.
and got all checked in. I was very impressed with the seriousness of safety that
Yeah.
they impressed upon all the guests. And it was just the safety things were repeated over and over in many different ways. So you could pick it up regardless of your learning style.
Right.
And then we hopped in bright yellow helicopters, and the helicopters travel in groups of 3. And it was absolutely incredible. For the record, I have said I would never, ever in my life get on a helicopter ever. And I would especially never take my children on a helicopter.
Uh-huh.
And we
How'd that
did
work
it, and
out?
we all loved it.
Oh,
That's awesome.
So was this the first time for everybody?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Okay.
And it was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you land, you get there very quickly up to the glacier, and we saw Mendenhall Glacier on our way up. We went to Herbert
Mm.
Glacier, which is off the same ice field, but in a different valley.
hmm
And landed right there at the dog camp and got safety briefing, and off we were on dog sleds, which was like
Wow.
This is so cool.
wild.
I
It was
saw
so wild.
I saw a vlog of somebody doing this, and I made Nathan watch it. I'm like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is the one that I want to do. I want
It
to
was-
take a helicopter onto a glacier and go meet some doggos. And
Yeah.
I will tell you a couple things about the dogs really surprised me. And I'm not a dog person. My kids love dogs. I'm just not a dog person. The dogs are really small,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which I was not expecting. I expected these big monstrosities of dogs,
Yeah.
like what you see in snow dogs. It
Yeah.
was
Right.
not like that. They were very small and they were so friendly.
Yeah.
And they loved, the trainers would tell us which dogs were okay to interact with, and it was most of them. And they would roll over. They wanted belly rubs. They
Aw.
wanted to get right in your face and lick you. And they were so friendly and fun. And even me, the non-dog lover, was down there petting the dogs. It took me longer to warm up, but I have one daughter. My daughter now wants to be a helicopter pilot because our helicopter pilot was a female
Mhm.
and a
Awesome.
dog trainer. So she's going to just combine them.
Sure.
And then my son wants to breed
All right.
Alaska Huskies.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Plans.
So there's
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And we spent the entire helicopter ride back explaining why we were not going to get a dog today.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I hate the fact that I feel like I need to make this PSA, but we heard a story when we were there because we did I forget which town it was. There was no helicopter involved, but we did see a dog camp and
Did you go to the
and
one where
stuff.
you pet the puppies?
Yes.
That's Skagway. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
But we heard a story there, and I just heard a story within the last few days of people trying to smuggle puppies back onto their cruise ships. And like, people, what? No, just
Wow.
no.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I did hear, we had friends that did that tour in Skagway, and they did hear about all the safety check in and check out at the dog camp
Yeah.
that they had to
Uh-huh.
do because people
Uh-huh.
steal the puppies, which
That's
is just
nuts.
so mind boggling. How are you going to hide that on the cruise ship?
Right?
How are you going
Right?
to get that through customs in Canada?
Like these people just no, just no.
Here's another interesting little tidbit that we
Yeah.
learned about the dogs is the dogs were all different colors and
Mhm.
shades of fur, but their DNA, they are all the same. They all have the same DNA. They are all Alaskan Huskies, which I also thought was fascinating.
Yeah. They
But they look
all
so
look so
different.
different, and they're
Mhm.
like you said, they're smaller. They don't look
Tiny.
like the huskies you think huskies look
Mm-mm.
like. They're a
Nope.
totally different type.
Right.
They are bred for racing or
Yeah.
just being on the glacier, being on the snow and pulling sleds.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was very cool, and I highly recommend it.
That's awesome. Well, I was going to ask what the kids thought, but now we know they have their whole career and life story
Yeah.
planned out.
It's,
So
you know,
all
I guess
planned
it
out.
made
great.
an impression.
They're going to be living on glaciers in Alaska.
I'm sure there's a degree for that somewhere.
Right.
Somewhere.
All right, let's move on to Ketchikan. What did you guys do in Ketchikan?
Ketchikan was a little different because we had a later port arrival. So
Okay.
we couldn't get off the ship until it was supposed to be about 11:45, but we got in a
Oh.
little bit early. We got off the ship about a half hour early.
Okay.
So we just went into town and walk around,
Mm.
and then we had a tour scheduled pretty early that took us out to the Saxman Village, which is it's just outside of town, and they are building totem poles there. And
Oh, cool.
so seeing how they make totem poles, we learned about the history of the design of totem poles and how they're revealed to the tribes, and how they're given back to the land. And so they have a number of totem poles there that are in the process of going back to the land, which was
Yeah.
cool to see kind of full circle. And then they have a totem pole, like a pavilion that has totem poles all around it. And so we learned the stories of the different totem poles. And my kids said that that was their absolute favorite part. And then we went inside one of the clan. They have a clan house there for
Mhm.
the Beaver clan. And they did a show. It was like it was so cool. It was like little kids and adults, and they were singing and dancing. And then people from our group got to go up and they taught them a little dance, and they gave them little cloaks to put on, and they got to perform.
Oh, wow.
And it was really,
Hmm.
really cool.
That's
And
so
after
cool.
that, it was very cool. And my kids have, we've done their DNA, and so we know that they have a little Salish Indian, and
Hmm.
so they love doing all those things. And I'm, excited as they get older to help them kind of dive into that culture
Yeah.
a little bit more and learn about it.
Hmm.
And then after that, we get back in the bus. They took us to, it's right in downtown Ketchikan. There is I'm not gonna remember exactly what it is. It's a museum. It's like a natural history museum,
Okay.
and they have different setups of the different types of terrain and climates that they have in Alaska, so you can learn about the animals and different places in Alaska.
Yeah.
And we didn't spend a lot of time there. They have a craft at the end where you can make bracelets. And then the tour concluded at the exclusive Disney Lumberjack show, which
Excellent.
You know, there's a lot of back and forth about if people should schedule just a regular lumberjack show or if the Disney exclusive is worth it.
Yeah.
Goofy did make an appearance. It was right at the beginning. That's the only Disney exclusive piece
Mm.
other than everybody else was on our ship.
Right.
It was fun to see Goofy come out and do calisthenics, and that was very entertaining. But the lumberjack show was fun, and it was, you like to compete and cheer people on. It was very, very fun, a little bit cheesy, but mostly fun. And we enjoyed it. And then we just walked around and went back to the ship. So it was a shorter kind of port day for us, which was good because we were
Yeah.
we were pretty tired by then.
Yes. Well, you had 2 sea days getting up to Alaska and then back down south.
Yeah.
Any highlights on board? How did y'all pass the time?
I don't even remember. Um, the first day we saw Toy Story 5.
Okay.
Highly
Nice.
recommend. Girl math. I saved money going to the theater. We saw
Of
Toy
course.
Story 5 on the ship. We also saw the new live action Moana, so I saved a lot of money going on an Alaska cruise.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Both were
First time
incredible.
that phrase has ever been uttered.
Yeah. So we saw the movie. We did a mixology class, which was fun. I've done a mixology class before. I did it on the Wish. And it was kind of fun because often if you've done those classes, sometimes they're kind of the same from ship to ship. But this
Yeah.
mixology class was completely different than the one that we did on the Wish.
Awesome.
It was very interactive. We all took turns going up and making drinks. It was very fun. And the kids enjoyed the kids club. We actually did not get in the pool at all.
Wow.
I think my kids forgot that there were pools, which I was okay with for
Yeah.
this particular cruise.
Mhm.
And then we did Apollo brunch with all the other women that I was cruising with. So we did that on our last sea day, which is always a
Awesome.
big hit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lots of trivia.
Yeah.
Lots of trivia. We did some art projects.
Okay.
And just, relaxing around the
Yeah.
ship, which is nice to do. The entertainment stuff on that ship was really good. They had a good variety for us to choose from.
Yeah.
So they kept us busy.
On your port days, I know there's also, things going on the ship, and you have things in the theater at night and stuff like that. Did you get up to anything, after your time ashore while you were in Alaska, or is it mostly recharge time and try to just like get those batteries boosted back up for the next day?
We did go to one of the shows. I don't remember which one now. It's such a blur. But one really cool thing happened on our sailing. Our cruise was part of the Broadway Stars series.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So we had 2 Broadway stars get on our ship. One had starred as Jasmine on
Mhm.
Broadway. The other had starred as Nala on Broadway.
Oh, nice.
The one who had starred as Jasmine was also Elphaba. And so one of the nights they did something late at night in the adults only
Yes.
spaces.
Yeah.
We didn't go to that one, but we did go to the one in the main theater, the Buena Vista Theater, not the Buena Vista Theater, the
Walt Disney.
Walt Disney Theater. And it was jaw-dropping.
Yes.
So incredible. And they took turns singing solos and duets.
Mhm,
And
mhm, mhm.
my son, who dreams of being a theater star, was just in awe.
Mhm.
as was everybody. It was truly incredible. And then they did a meet and greet the next day where they answered questions and
Oh,
things.
Oh,
And
nice.
fantastic.
so if you have the opportunity to be on board when they are doing one of those, I would
Yeah,
highly recommend
100%.
um, taking advantage of that spectacular
Yes.
entertainment.
Yeah.
It's not every cruise that
Mm-mm,
offers that.
not many.
No, we were lucky enough. We had two Broadway stars in our Destiny sailing as well.
That's
But
awesome.
yes, very much highly recommend. And if you can get to the other one that they do as well, so one little later at night and for the
Yeah.
adults, um, that was that was amazing for ours as well. That's when they did the non-Disney songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It
Very
was
cool.
really good. We are lucky enough on our next sailing on the Treasure. They're going to be a couple of
Oh,
stars. So
fun.
now
Fantastic.
we know what to look
Yes.
for on the schedule.
Well, plus, and now your son has a full package of what we're going to do. We're going to be, a theater star
Hmm.
that's also a dog breeder for Alaskan
And
Huskies.
he also wants to be material scientist. So,
Sure.
he's
Okay.
got a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Sure.
A
I
lot of
love it.
different options.
Do it all.
Yep.
Do it all.
As long as there's good Wi-Fi on a glacier, why could you not do it all?
Exactly. Did they get any time in the kids club, or did they get enough time in the kids club? Because I know they both enjoy it very much.
They did have a lot of time in the
Okay.
kids club. Not as much as they normally do, or
Yeah.
maybe as they wanted, but we had talked about that before
Mhm.
this cruise, that this was a different type of cruise, that you're going to
Yes.
sit through dinner. You're not leaving dinner early to go to the kids club. And they did really well. The nice thing about sailing on the Wonder this time is it was 7 nights and our last sailing was 4. So we got the extra show at Animator's Palette, which we've
Yeah.
sailed on the Magic twice, the
Ah.
Wonder now twice. We've sailed on the Dream. We've never gotten that second show on
Oh,
Animator's
okay.
Palette. So it was really cool. So we got to
Yeah.
see some things that we hadn't seen before, which was
Yes.
fun.
Very
So
cool.
they did stay through dinner, which is a big adjustment
Mm.
for them. They don't usually make it to dessert.
What did they think of Animation Magic?
It was really cool. And
Yeah.
I'm still kicking myself that I did not submit a drawing.
What? What are you doing?
I don't know. I was just enjoying watching everybody else draw. And then I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I should have been drawing. And then I didn't. And I didn't realize they were going to put everybody's
Oh
up.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And it was so cool. And now I'm mad.
You'll just have to go on
Just
another
have
one.
to do it again. Yeah.
I just know that when I do that and I make my drawing, that I am disappointing my dad, who is an artist of many, many decades and taught and has, sold works and all the rest of that stuff. And I have the worst, horrible looking stick figures ever. And I just
Same.
want to publicly apologize to my
Yeah.
dad.
That's one of the big reasons that I didn't do one. I'm not an artist. My kids are better artists than I am. And we only had 2 colors. We only had red and green, and I felt very limited.
Mm,
Yes. It wasn't Christmas. Well, it could have been Christmas in July.
Could have
There you
been.
go. I mean, it was cold, so
Yeah, very true.
ish.
Ish.
Well, let's kind of talk about Alaska cruising in general. Just as some takeaways, now that you can reflect on this, you've done it with Princess, you've done it now with Disney, with the kids. Who would you say an Alaskan cruise is perfect for?
I think Alaska is an awesome cruise experience for a family.
Mhm.
I do recommend having your kids be a little bit older, maybe 5 or 6, to
Mm.
really take advantage of all that Alaska has to offer.
Mhm.
I'm not saying younger kids won't enjoy it or that you can't have a great time, but I do feel like there's more to appreciate and enjoy when they're older. And a lot of the excursions are adventurous in nature, so they
Yeah.
have higher age limits. Like my daughter is really mad that as a 7-year-old we could not go ziplining because Disney has a limit that they have to be 8 to zip line. So,
Yep.
there are some parameters like that in place. Alaska is a really awesome multi-generational trip as
Mm.
well.
Yeah.
And I do have a lot of clients that are taking grandma and grandpa and all the brothers and sisters and all the grandkids. And Disney's really nice because we can book them all together. We don't have to worry
Yeah.
about how many people are in each cabin. We can pick the cabins that everybody wants and get everybody either next to each other, connecting, or close. And so I think that if you want to go experience something those memories that are gonna last a lifetime, Alaska is a great option. It's a
Mm.
bigger ticket vacation. So,
Hmm.
if it's something that's on your radar, I recommend, starting a budget, start saving for it.
Yeah.
Because the cruise itself is going to be more expensive than a Caribbean cruise, and the excursions are going to be more expensive.
Yes.
Hmm.
And oftentimes I find myself on Caribbean sailings not really interested in many of the excursions. And it's the exact opposite. In Alaska, you're going to want to do all the things.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Is it worth the premium price in your
worth every
opinion?
penny,
Okay.
worth
Yeah.
every penny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth every penny. And, the other thing that comes up with Alaska is the verandas are a significant price jump over an
Yeah.
ocean view or
Yeah.
an inside cabin. And if you can budget it, I highly recommend a veranda. We
Mm.
use our veranda more in Alaska than on any other sailing
Mm.
Yeah.
because there's always something to see. The fjords are so narrow, and you can see land. You can see wildlife outside your window at any given time, and the scenery is just incredible. It's so nice to just be able to pop in and out.
Yeah.
Um, and an ocean view is great too. If that's what your budget allows, being able to see outside, I think is key. The other piece is it's light so late and it
Mhm.
Hmm.
gets light so early. You have so many more daylight hours
Mm.
to enjoy your veranda than, say, in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Right. Right. I think we talked a little bit about this or hinted at it. Would you do Alaska again? And
Oh,
if
100%.
is there anything you do differently?
This is a good question. We will 100% do Alaska again. I've only been in July. I would love to go in the fall,
Yeah.
later
Mm.
in September when you have a better chance of seeing the northern lights, which is hard for school. So that
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
not happen anytime soon. Um,
I've also
but
heard the later in the like if you can get late August or into September, you're more likely to see the bears out because they're
yes,
stocking up on the salmon and during the salmon runs, then getting
yeah,
ready for hibernation and stuff
yeah.
like that. So
That's the really cool thing I think about Alaska is it's a short season and every month is distinctively different
mhm.
than the other months. So I
Mm.
would really like to go at different times. We are national park junkies. So at some point we're going to get on a princess ship and go to Glacier Bay so that
Mm.
my
Yeah,
kids can check that one off their list.
yeah.
But that will be a little bit, we're not ready for princess just yet.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
What's a piece of advice that sticks out that you would give to somebody booking their very first Alaskan Disney cruise?
I would really recommend finding a travel professional who has been to Alaska
Mm.
to guide you through the process. Booking is kind of the easy part in cruising.
Yeah.
If you're somebody that cruises a lot and you've booked a lot of cruises, um, Alaska you can book, but there are so many nuances to Alaska, which ship you're getting on, which
Mm.
itinerary, when you're in port, those things can really make a big difference.
Yeah.
We chose the Wonder over the Magic for two really important reasons. One is the Magic is not going to Juneau,
Mm.
which is your easiest access to a glacier because
Mm.
Mendenhall Glacier is just out of town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other reason we chose the Wonder is because when the itineraries came out, the Magic was docking at Ward Cove instead of Ketchikan proper, which is a shuttle right away,
Mm.
Right.
which might not seem like a big deal, but that's already a shorter port. And so when you have to build in those transit times,
Hmm.
that really cuts down on your port experience.
Hmm.
Um, but those are things that you don't know to look for
Mm.
Yeah.
unless you are working with somebody that is experienced and has been to Alaska and can kind of guide you through those things.
Yeah.
Some cruise lines do not have priority docking permissions and they tender, which can also take port time away. So
Hmm.
as long as you know that going in, I think that those are things you can work around,
Yeah.
but you don't want those to be a surprise.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I wish that's my one regret. We did sail to Alaska with a travel advisor and we did not have that level of support. And there were so
Yeah.
many things that I wish we had known about not just Alaska, but just our first time sailing with Celebrity that we were surprised about, different things and how they handle stuff and stuff like that. We just did things that we didn't know. We've been with Disney literally like almost 20 times at that point, and all these other lines are just different. And
Very different.
having somebody who has sailed with the line that you are going to book, whether that's Disney or Princess or Celebrity or Royal or whomever. Having somebody who has that experience is so important to have. So that's
I
a
agree.
great
And
point.
even within just Disney, for example, somebody who sailed on the smaller ships, because they're a
Mm.
very, very different experience than the Wish class ships.
Yes.
There are different things that you need just to know.
Yeah.
Because they do things differently.
Yep. Well, we're not going to let you get away scot clean this time just because you've already passed Alicia's torture test before.
Oh no.
We have an Alaska version of the
Okay.
torture test.
Okay.
So with that, Alicia, do your worst. I mean, best.
Okay. One word to describe Alaska.
Majestic.
Best meal of the cruise.
Apollo brunch.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's such a cop out though.
No,
'cause
but
we all
okay,
know
but-
that that's true.
But what entree did you get?
The chicken parm,
All right.
which it was not the best chicken parm I've ever had in Apollo.
Oh, no.
But it was okay because I was very, very full.
Something to think of for next time. I have heard get the parm and the lasagna and eat them
Okay.
together.
Well, I haven't done that per se, but I have split the
there
lasagna
you go.
and split the parm
Okay.
with some. So I guess I technically
yeah.
have done that. Yeah. The lasagna is really incredible too. I mean, there's nothing that I've ever eaten there that I don't love.
Right, exactly. Like it's never horrible.
Like if I could just live on almond croissants and those Nutella,
Yes.
Yeah.
my life would be good.
Our Apollo brunch on the Destiny, they did not give us the sweetbreads. We just had the savory breads. I
That is
know.
appalling.
After the end, I'm like, wait a minute. I
You
didn't get my
deserved a
almond croissant.
You deserved a basket of almond croissants delivered
Right?
to your cabin for that.
We'll just have
Except-
to do it again.
We were full.
We
So
were very
it's
full.
Okay.
All right. Best port.
I love Skagway.
Best excursion.
Helicopters and dog sleds.
Yes. The best photo spot.
If it's not Glacier on Glacier Day,
Yeah.
I would say driving up the Yukon Trail on the bus
Yeah.
has some really incredible photo spots.
Your favorite Disney character moment.
This is kind of embarrassing. I was just in a real mood one day. I can't tell you why. I don't even remember why. I just remember I was like very frustrated with one of my children who was being a lot. And we were waiting in line to see Minnie, and she was in her formal gown. She wears this beautiful white formal gown.
Yes. With the
And we
feathers.
finally, my daughter finally got up to the front, and it was just Minnie, and I was just grumpy. I wasn't going to meet Minnie, and Minnie waves me over. And I was like, I'm sorry, Minnie, I'm just really grumpy. And Minnie grabs me and she pulls me into a hug, and it just made me
Aw.
cry. Like it's the silliest thing, right? But I was just, it's those magical Disney moments. It was
Yep.
just what I needed in that
Mhm.
moment, and I was fine after that. But it was just that moment.
Yeah.
Minnie's not going to let you be grumpy.
Nope.
She's not. She's not. Turned my whole night around.
That's
Awesome.
amazing.
All right. Rain gear, necessity or overkill?
It's an absolute necessity.
Yeah.
And not the ponchos that are disposable that you wear at Disney World.
No.
I had this conversation multiple times in our Facebook group. And, we were lucky enough not to need the rain gear.
Yeah.
But when it rains, it's windy and it's cold,
Mhm.
and those ponchos are not going to do anything. So
No.
a good raincoat
Yep.
is a necessity.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Plus, even if it's not raining, those good raincoats are going to be a nice just outer
Yep.
shell, even if
Good
you
to
don't
have.
have a lining.
Exactly. It
You're going
doesn't
to be
need to be
comfortable.
thick.
Right.
Yep. And a hood that fits.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Take it from the 3 Pacific Northwesterners
Yes.
that you're listening to right now.
Mhm.
This is the way to go.
Yes.
One item everyone should pack.
Besides a raincoat, a
Mhm.
pair of binoculars.
Pair of binoculars.
Get
Oh.
a cheap pair. We bought the ones that we bought. I actually replaced my travel binoculars because I bought some for my kids that were
Yeah.
$12 on Amazon, and they were better than my big binoculars and my travel ones. And they were perfect. Everybody
Wow.
had their own binoculars. There was no fighting. Everybody could watch everything at once.
That's perfect.
One thing you wish you had known before sailing, or something people just have a tendency not to know. Yeah.
Gosh, that's really hard because I'm such a planner. And I answer questions all day long. So I like to think that people get on knowing all the things.
Well, let's pivot it. Like, what's like one of the biggest common mistakes that you see people make?
Common mistakes or the most common question folks have.
I think any cruise, and Alaska specifically, you can't do it all.
Yeah.
And just part of what makes Alaska special is just sort of being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We had a WhatsApp group on our sailing and for wildlife spottings.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
If there are whales, drop everything, go see the whales.
Right. Right.
You can't do it all. You're going to miss stuff, but just kind of live in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I do think that being in the Facebook groups, if you're in a good one, you can get a lot of really good information and a lot of helpful tips in those. And there are really good people that you can follow on social media that will give you a lot of really good insider tips.
Yes. Like yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We'll get there.
Alaska score from 1 to 10.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did not disappoint. It was, I think this will be one of my kids. I hope it's one of my kids' core memories as they go into adulthood, and maybe something that they share with their kids.
What do you think that they will still talk about?
The dog sleds
The
helicopters.
Yeah.
And they have been talking to people about the totem poles a lot.
Nice.
Wow.
That's
That's
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah. My son actually bought a totem pole keychain. He was like, I just want to remember the stories of the totem poles.
Oh, that's fun.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
Well, Sara, we mentioned it a few minutes ago. How can people find you, follow you? How can you help other people have these kind of magical adventures? See what I did there?
That was good. I like it. You can find me on TikTok. I'm Magical Adventures with Sara. That's my name on Facebook and Instagram as well. And I do have a Disney Cruise Line 101 series that's pinned on my socials, where I just kind of go through some of the things we've talked about, what to expect for embarkation day and debarkation day and kids clubs. And I really enjoy helping people get all of the tips and insider information to help them maximize their cruise. Because I think there's nothing worse than getting on a Disney cruise and not having any idea that there's door decorating and there's,
Yeah.
different things to do around the ship. It's an investment in your family, and I enjoy helping people maximize their investment.
Well, you've definitely given us some good ideas, and I know that we are eagerly awaiting the next itinerary drop so we can figure out which of these tips we can put to good use.
Probably October.
Well, Sara, thanks again so much for joining us. Can't wait to have you on again after your next trip. Actually, what is next Disney-wise?
Next, we are going in September. We're taking my mom on her very first Disney cruise.
Oh,
and
wow.
We are sailing concierge on the Disney Treasure.
Oh, you're
It's
going
going
to
to be
love
a great
that.
time. It's a little bit bougie, and we're very excited.
It's not a little bit bougie.
It's very bougie.
Very
A
bougie.
lot bougie, and we're very excited.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Excited to follow along and see all the fun.
It's going to be great.
Awesome. Thanks again, Sara.
Thanks for having me again. It's always a joy.
Well, as we wrap up and Alicia heads off to do her motherly duties of picking up a kiddo, I want to remind you all that we are not affiliated with Disney or any of their subsidiaries. Everything you hear on this show is based on personal experiences, opinions, and questionable snack choices. We are, however, proudly affiliated with Fun and Alaskan Cruises. If you're planning a Disney vacation, we always recommend working with a travel advisor, just like Sara, or reaching out to Disney directly to help make the magic happen. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please take a second to rate and review the show. That really helps other Disney fans find us. If you have a question, a topic suggestion, or a Disney story you'd love to share, please send us an email at podcast@ourmousecapades.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Threads at Our Mousecapades, and on YouTube at Our Mousecapades Pod. And of course, don't forget to share us with your friends, your family, and Disney fans of all ages. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back in your ears next week.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.